Welcome to Cranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise, and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Cranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm not beat me, so I'm late. Hey, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me. If we come late, people, then a nice chat, then a good thing, man. Huh? No, I am punctual. But as you guys know, I am challenged with technology, as it's very obvious. And I was trying to pull something up. I was trying to put together a schedule, and it was taking me forever. I realized I was past the time. I could have pushed back the program. But I said, you know what? Let them come in, and then we can have the conversation. So yeah, I apologize for the lateness. What time is it? It's 5 minutes late. I apologize for the lateness. I don't believe in being late, even 1 second. So yeah, I'm late. Doing. I agree, I'm late. But trust me, I was sitting here for the last hour and a half. See, that's why I complain so much, people, about not getting the likes, So I decided I was going to do the show today, and then my son turned up, and we spent all afternoon together, and he didn't want to leave, so to go back home. So we talk, and I said, look, I'm gonna do a show tonight, and he said, fine. When we're gonna link up tomorrow. So I was now I want to put together, I don't like to come on as the show and not being prepared, and that was exactly what was transpiring. So I was rushing to get this done. I was gonna set it for 9 o'clock. I probably should have set it for 10, but I don't like to get too late. So Eagle Republic, Dre, Nitro, Tough Rudy, Jeremy, and Blake. First, I want to say big up to everybody who I decided to join the show tonight. It's a little bit later than normal. I see a lot of people coming out with breaking news today and what's transpiring. I was smiling because I said to myself, all my sources tell me I can't talk about certain things until they're actualized. And even when I'm actualized, them still put me on the manners. So I thought it was interesting today that we saw all this breaking news come out about who have passports and who doesn't. Things that I knew for a while now. So tonight I'm going to put together my proposed team. I know that it came out that 5 people. You know what? Before we jump into that, I want to talk about something else first, and then we jump into that. Sylvester, thank you. Well, I don't believe in the always late thing. We set trends, so we now follow. Hey, by the way, do you people like my new? I should play it again. You don't like my new opening? I like my new opening. Let me get a feedback for the new opening. I spent all day yesterday and the day before I put this together. Them together don't take 2 seconds, people. Them take time. You first find the music, then you want to find the right pictures, link up, right? Link up with the music. So tell me if I don't like the opening or not, or do I have to go back and revisit it and revise it and change it? Let me know, people. Because I don't know, give me the feedback, I try here for please, When you can please me by hitting the like button, 117 and 64. I was on Crystal's channel today on Talawa TV, and I was saying the same thing, which is people in the chat and the likes are way below the number of people in the chat. I don't understand. Okay, Gunton said him like it. Yeah. We're trying something different. You know what I do? Since it's a world premiere, you want to play it again. Play it again. And we can't find it. A world premiere, I play it again. Welcome to Cranky Live, the show where bold minds meet real talk. This isn't your average sports or news show. It's where we break down sports, culture, and controversy with facts, fire, and fearless honesty. Here, truth cuts through the noise, and hype gets exposed. From football to track and field, from world issues to local debates, we ask the tough questions, speak without fear, and go deeper than the headlines. We don't follow the crowd, we set the trend. While others recycle the same tired takes, we bring fresh insight, unfiltered analysis, and bold perspectives. No echo chambers, no puppet talk, just real conversation for people who think for themselves. Listen with your brain, not just your ears. Think critically, question boldly, and speak freely. This is Cranky Live, where reason rules the mic and truth always win. Come on, let's get into it. All right, people. So that was my I'm away from home and I'm not home, so I'm not in a comfort environment where everything is aligned really well. As I said the other day, I bought new mic and new Zoom while away, and I have all that at home, so I duplicate it. Just because I want to put together the best product that I can possibly put together. So I need your support too. Hit the like button so that people can watch the channel. But I love the feedback on, because I always say this is like you're talking to like Amazon or whatever it is. Intro sponsored by JFF. No. I can't do this by myself. The music is not YouTube music. I bought this music. Well, you don't really buy exclusive rights. You buy a license and you can use it for a certain number of streams. I don't think I can exhaust that number of streams, actually. And then you just put some words to it and put some pictures to it. That's all. So I have my son here give me some ideas today, because I asked people at home to criticize me. I thought I said people should always have people to criticize, so our review what you have done so you can get good feedback and good insight. So anyway, enough of the talk about the intro. We'll tolerate the tard. Why everybody beat more the tardiness? So me asking you something. Since you know I'm beat me. When me come, like on time, I don't know trickling when no one trickling. I come half hour late and 20 minutes late, an hour late. Me not whine and complain. When me ask you like, you know, whine and complain. So me can tardy too. Me just okay, I mean, I really follow. And this tardiness is a one-off situation. It's not the norm. So don't beat me with the tardiness. These things happen once in a while. Thank you. I said thanks. I'm a real Jamaican, I mean, thank you, Adam. And thank you, the one. Real Jamaican, I mean, I talk about thanks. Eat up the H them as you, John. Couple of things, people. I want to mention something. By the way, before I jump into this, I'm all over the place a little bit. I will pick my team this evening. I will have the squad. I revise the squad of what I expect, not the general thing I played the other day and try to play a game about who may be trying to come. I pick the squad I think will be the squad. And then I pick the team I think will be the team. But a couple of things I have to say before I move forward. I know this is about Jamaica football, but my team, Arsenal, is investing in the squad, spending money. May spend about 250, 300 million this transfer window if all things go right. By Norgard, Zubimendi, may buy Mascara, should buy Goalkeepers, may get Eze. It's up by everybody. And they say we can win a title for once in a while. So we'll see what happens there. The other day I did a show and an interview that Rudolph Speed did with Sportsmax. And a couple of things were brought to my attention. One is Andre called in and and pushed back at me that I skipped over the role that Trinidad has played in coaching in the region, because I didn't think Rudolph gave Trinidad enough credit. I'm going to be nice to Rudolph, even though if he get beaten. You know what? I'm not nice if he get beaten. I did think Rudolph though. That's a real Jamaica talk. I did think him though. Trinidad was the one who started the coaching program. Rudolph got his licenses through Trinidad. Rudolph's supposed to be going to Trinidad to do pro license. No. At Trinidad when they run the show night coaching. Now, is it a good thing that Jamaica is going to do the coaching? Yes, it's a great thing that Jamaica is going to do the coaching. It's a wonderful thing. And hopefully the coaching will, along with the practical, will allow Jamaica football to improve materially, given where it is. But we have to give credit where credit is due. When I hear the discussion, it's almost as Trinidad was ancillary to the discussion. And in fact, Rudolph said to them that Trinidad would do what? Lesser Antilles, and Jamaica do Greater Antilles, and it's going to share thing. No, Trinidad when they run it. In fact, Trinidad run it like a business. I try to make money out of it. And their president, in one of their interviews, talked about it as one of the major revenue sources, which is a little bit sad, actually, to think about, because the fees that I see them charging is not material for each coach. But I don't think Rudolph did the best job, Rudolph. And if you're watching Rudolph, I'm calling you out. You got to give credit where credit is due. I know Rudolph mentioned some game they played against St. Kitts, which was the genesis for them to start the coaching program in Jamaica. Well, part of the genesis has to be Trinidad doing it, and you're saying we can do it too. Give credit where credit is due. One thing I've learned about life, if you don't give people credit, they're not gonna respect you. If you act like you just do things by your own, or the people in Jamaica just do it, you treat them no credit, they might look on you different. They might treat you different. I'm gonna give you an example, people. I think I said this before. I had a presentation to do at a National Association of Black Accountants conference I was in New York, in Detroit, and I asked my team to put the presentation together, and they did. And it was sent to the entire department how great the presentation was. And I sent an email to the department saying, I didn't do this presentation. I didn't put together. I'm going to present it, but it's XYZ and XYZ did the presentation. So don't credit me, credit them. I can tell you this. Those two kids that put that together did a wonderful job. But more importantly, they appreciated me giving them credit. And I know they're going to be loyal for life for me, because they're going to say, you know what? My boss will give me credit when credit is due. It goes the same with relationships that you have. If you hoard the credit for yourself, then the person who's engaged with you is going to be very skeptical of you and won't want to engage you, or will engage you with a skeptical perspective and a view. So you have to give credit is due. And Trinidad deserve their credit. They're the ones who started. They're the ones who got the certification from CONCACAF. And yes, Jamaica may be doing a good job doing it now, but give them the credit. Secondly, another thing that Rudolph brought up, which I have to call out, which is important. Rudolph mentioned the coaches, and the coaches at a different level. He mentioned under 17 was a Swedish coach. No, under 20 Swedish coach. He mentioned under 17 was a US coach. Come on, Rudolph. Do better than that. May I go over it now? And somebody called me out, but the under 20 come and figure it. When I was talking, there was an interruption, and I lost my train of thought. Under 17 was Freddie Butler, who is a Jamaican, play for Jamaica, now live in Florida. Right? So my yardie. Someone who thinks people live overseas are yardie. Them look at my yardie. Right? And most of the team, one or two people come from England, but most of the team from English youth them, because have the quota system. That's why we lose the under 17. If we pick the best, and even then, when I have US players and Jamaican players, we still pick the best team, that's why we lose to El Salvador. No doubt about it. We have better players in England could have played. We never want them. Because no one do no one thing. Secondly, for the under 20, in God's name, people, John Wall had the under 20. He won the Caribbean division of the under 20. He went to CONCACAF and got his ass kicked. Okay? So stop the nonsense about, well, the coaches that we have, all the coaches want to be local coaches. That's that's aspirational that you want to do that. But call a spade a spade. We had a local coach for the under 20 and they did awful. We had a locally born coach for the under 17 and they lost. Yes, they lost to El Salvador. And it was hard not to make the World Cup for the under 17. Let's be honest. So we're not being genuine when we talk about these things. And I said this for the last time, but not for the last time. For another emphasis, is this. When we have when we think about the teams and what we have and how we want to play football, we don't have a technical director, people. We have a quota system and it's not helping us. And I keep saying this over and over again. We said the under 15 was a Jamaica coach and we feel good. The under 20 was a Swedish coach and he won the Caribbean and he gave it to a Jamaica coach and he went and got his ass kicked in CONCACAF. Stop the nonsense. The under 15 who we rolled out because the under 20 did so bad to say they won the Caribbean, they didn't play in CONCACAF. They didn't play against the US. They didn't play against Latin America. So how we know how good the coach was or how good they were in those Jamaica coach? And everybody said, we got to give them credit. I'm start giving credit when it's Caribbean. I'm sorry. Because all the Caribbean is the same. They're going in one direction, backwards. So when we come here and espouse certain views about certain things, it is unfair not to be transparent. Does every country should aspire to have local coach a team? Yes, they should. But we're not prepared. Here's my final point on this. I'm going to say this to Rudolph. Rudolph, may I talk to you with this? Because Rudolph, I run things. The Caribbean, including Jamaica, has not produced a midfielder ever who can be deemed nowhere close to world class. nowhere close to world class, right? And I'm see skill cool player back in the days. I don't know if he was world class. He went to Brazil and played. I don't know if he was, but in my lifetime, I haven't seen any that's close to world class. I've said this numerous times. And you see me have one of the pictures in my intro video with, and this was deliberate, with Pep Guardiola and all the Spanish coaches. Spain nowadays produce the best midfielders. You look at the history. You look at Iniesta, you look at Xavi, you look at Busquets, you come now to Merino, Zubamendi, Rodri, goes Pedri, Gavi. You can look on the list of midfielders Spain have people. And I keep saying this to Jamaica. Once you send a delegation to Spain, we're trying to link up with Barcelona and all of them and find out what's in the sauce they have. Is it because they have a football philosophy and a style of play that we can try to emulate? He's saying they look at Belgium, and Belgium coaching was what they think brought them from 60-something to in the top 10 at one time, number 1 in the world. But we're leveraging Trinidad to help us with the coaching. How does that tie into what Belgium has done or what Spain is doing? How do we bring in information from different disparate places that we can leverage to help inform how we operate and how we coach and how we progress in football? Please indicate this to me. It gets frustrating to hear the same narrative over and over again. And some of this lack transparency, people. My last point in this space before I go into my team. You know what? I'm gonna take up some comments first. Then I talk about something else I want to mention for the Reggae Boyz before I get into the Reggae Boyz. So let me pull up some comments first, and then I get to that. Nitro says he expects a highest performance. Yes, Nitro. And Nitro, people stop beating me, and I apologize for being late. People. Yeah, people, it's late. At 9:50. People, it's 9:50 Eastern Standard Time, even though I'm not in New York. I hate when Siri does this, start typing my stuff. I refuse to have 226 people in the chat and 112 live. I approve. When I especially went in, as the other YouTubers told me to do, and typed in up front a poll saying yes or no like. So I assume that over 100 people don't like the program. Now I can understand if you're Rudolph or if you're a football guru or some of the people who don't like me. Well, Master Rudolph not gonna like me, can't say that. But football guru not like me and other people. And you don't hit the like button. I understand that. You may stick in the chat, change your name or whatever. In the Rudolph, we put him name out there sometime. But others who are here, I assume you don't dislike the host. So I have no idea why you don't hit the like button. Huh? I don't understand people. I don't understand. So I'll just talk around that circle for a little bit. I don't understand why you don't hit the like button. It makes no sense to me. Because you're here. So why are you here if you don't like the program? Here's my last point before I jump into my squad, because this is just going to be an hour's program. The JFF does an atrocious job in recruiting. I'm going to repeat that. And I know I'm going to get beaten for this by people in the JFF. But instead of people, say this. There are some people in the JFF, I didn't say Jamaica, can't stand a bone on my body. I'm telling you that, Ryan. And I know who they are. Even some of them who are supposed to be, I won't say who they are in as related to me, can't stand a bone on my body. And I can understand that. But that ain't my problem. That's their problem. Not my problem. Okay? Not my problem. I'll put up some more comments and then I'll jump into what I want to say before I jump into this squad. Toughy Rudy, we'll see. I don't, some people, it's funny. No, I'm not in New York, actually, Richard Green. I don't do those shows though. I listen to the music, don't get me wrong. I just don't like to go to crowd and we cannot steer from anything. And it's a sports event. We not really go concert. The last concert I've been to was a Shaggy concert. Somebody have some backstage pass and them something to come. And a long time ago that. Me not really do the concert thing. So Chris, then I said, Cranky, why are you well? Chris Peace said that the plans were for the future. What's wrong with that? It wasn't like someone who asked him and he denied TT options. He gave them no credit, Chris. I'm gonna call it no credit. All he said was that he corrected the interviewer. And by the way, those interviewers, I should be careful what I say. They have to do it. I'll use some mild comments. They need to do a better job. They need to do more research. See, here's the thing, people. We follow the football 24/7. So these things are like second nature to us. They don't. It's obvious that they don't. Because when they ask questions, the follow-up questions, you just cringe and says, like the under 20 question, should have come up, to be honest. Talked about who wants coaching. I said the under 20 coach. The point should have been the Jamaican local coaches who coach a team don't win outside CONCACAF. They don't win outside the Caribbean. Sorry, they don't. So the question should be, what are you doing? Because if you're working with Trinidad and yourself to do this, is the information that you're disseminating and that you're using, you're teaching in materials, is it just sort of the standard coaching material? Somebody sent me some stuff today and beat me, said, I'm not going into detail in the coaching stuff in them. And I told them, I'm not trying to be a coach. Yes, maybe I should read the stuff in detail, all the coaching program, the C stuff, the B stuff, the A stuff, to get better informed. And I've thought about it, but I only have so much time in the day. Because I do want to chat, because when somebody tells me I don't know about football, and I think I know enough to be dangerous, what they're talking about is the intricacies of the nomenclature they use in coaching. It ain't sometimes the substance of it, seriously. So I can understand the coaches getting offended when I say certain things, because they say I make it seem too simplistic, and it's not simplistic. Okay, fine. Maybe I'll spend more time learning some of that. I did spend time reading some of the strategic documents for Spain and some other countries. I did send it to the JFF, and I was told it probably got into the trash, which is sad, actually. So I don't know what Chris is talking about. He didn't give them credit. The credit would have been they start the program. We leverage them. I got my license through them, and I'm going to get my pro license through them, which maybe only pro license, I guess, in Jamaica as a coach. That should have been part of the conversation. It wasn't. So I'm not sure anybody's going to say, Cranky, what you talk about, and yeah, make it a mountain out of a mole. I don't think so. And that's why Andre called me out, even though I didn't agree with Andre, because I did mention it. I didn't think I should elaborate on it extensively, but I did mention it. Crow did me say, even the midfield crisis can be attributed to our economic crisis. Jamaica believes midfielders run more use of energy. No, I think Jamaica, Rudolph used to talk about this. I think Jamaica leveraged what a lot of people do. And wait, let me just say this. It's not only Jamaica struggle with midfielders, great midfielders, from Jamaica, You look in the diaspora, we don't produce a lot of great midfielders. I mentioned that the other day. I mean, if you think about, yes, you may say the Billings of the world and even the Willocks of the world are decent players. Billingham could be close to world class. His family have those roots, right? But most of the diaspora, the descendants who play football in England, are not midfielders, are very good midfielders. They're not. Calvin Phillips, who's dropped off the wagon, Billingham. You can go through and name them. There's not a ton of them. So you can point on and say, you know what? Great midfielders, Caribbean descendants, are producing the Caribbean. You can't. Your light button is not present on the mobile, then get throw your mobile then. Get to that mobile. So listen, I'm shocked Peak I was so efficient. Took a little to get my passport renewed online from overseas. So all the players they claim. No. Wilson, not talk about that. Wilson, I have two people I'm talking about in England now who have reached out to me to tell me, and I'm going to do a show on it, that they've been having a nightmare trying to get passports for their sons who have aspirations to play for Jamaica. Nightmare. They filed in 2022, and they sent me a trove of documents which I have to go through, talking about their experience, which is one of the worst ever. So, yes, I got my passport and citizenship pretty quickly from the US when I filed. Took me 4 months in total. But some people are having nightmares, especially if they put their papers in London before they go to Jamaica. So you may have gotten yours renewed quickly. That's not the norm for some people, right? And I want to jump on that point. The JFF has done an atrocious job recruiting because they're conflicted as it relates to should they recruit diaspora players or not. When you look at my team, I can understand why, but they have to get over it and they have to get better, which they're trying to do with the coaching to make sure the players in Jamaica can compete. But I think the JFF, Bob's the Grange, maybe even the Prime Minister, Pika, the coach, JFF, and the recruiter of England, all of them need to coalesce and come together to figure out how best to get some of these players over the line, especially players with Premier League pedigree. I hear a lot of people dropping names and talking about players and who coming out that coming, and some of the players are not close. Right? A couple of names I hear drop, they're not close. Some players are closer, but they're having some other challenges to come. It's difficult. Right? It's difficult. So most people of Jamaican ancestry, I'm sure, if the Minister of Sports called them and engaged with them, they would feel good about it. That necessarily mean they're going to change their mind about being naturalized, but these are people who are trying to get naturalized. And I'm sure the Prime Minister and the Minister of Sports has leverage with PICA and over running PICA. And I'm sure if we go World Cup people, they're going to be the first ones. They will be the first ones out there waving the flag, wearing the jersey, taking credit. So if you want to take credit, do the work, forget the credit. Right? Do the work, forget the credit. Yeah, I forgot about Gibbs White Nitro. But if you look at the forward line Nitro, you will see that most of the players we produce, which is what people talk about, you hear Speed talk about this way back when, the athleticism that we have, or physical athleticism, automatically you get pushed in defense or forward for the reason. And midfield is a thinking man game. I'm sure we are very, very smart as a people, and we can acclimate ourselves to the midfield just like anyone else does. But I'm not sure we get pushed in that direction, or we try to master that position. If Spain can master it, why can't we? Because they sure have mastered it. They produce midfielders for joke. They struggle to pick midfielders because they have too many of them, and too many of them who are very, very good. We have a problem. Yeah, well, like I said, good midfielders, but he's not world class or close to world class. Good night.
Okay.
Yeah, who am I speaking to?
Jason.
Hey, Jason, how you doing?
Yeah. I was just listening to you and something come to my mind, right?
Okay.
You see the national team with 23 Diaspora players?
I don't think I have 23 Diaspora players. Let me see how much I have in it. No, we don't have 23 Diaspora players in there.
No. You would have liked to see that?
No. I'd like to see the best 26 players. I don't care where they come from.
All right, this one, right? In the national team right now, every 15 Diaspora player, we have the right amount.
Okay. So how do you determine what 15 versus 20 versus 18? How do you derive 15 as a number?
If we have 15 Diaspora player and 10 local player.
All right.
That's reasonable. It pass reasonable.
What does that mean, though? I'm curious. I'm confused with that statement. What does that mean?
Guess what? To you, Mr. Here, you guys reason about the national team.
Mm-hmm.
But playing Diaspora, you come next time, I'd like to see the national team with 23 Diaspora players.
Okay.
And that doesn't suit the people from Jamaica, right? Jamaica is Jamaican national team, not English national team.
Right. Okay.
If we respect the Diaspora player them. Don't get me wrong, we respect them country. And want the best.
So I must show you. Wait, let me see if I can pull this up. So you're saying you have a problem if we have too many diaspora players in the team, right? That's what you're saying.
I don't have a problem with having Diaspora player. It's just the way how we reason about it. Right?
Okay.
To be a reason about it, it seems like if we have 23 Diaspora player, it will be a problem to you or to some of the guys there.
Here's what I'm struggling with, right? Here's what I'm struggling with. Are the diaspora players citizens of Jamaica?
Frankie.
No. Answer the question.
We have asked something.
Answer the question.
Frankie.
Wait, will you answer the question?
No.
Answer the question. Answer the question. Just not play around the bush. Answer the question.
Frankie, them are half a Jamaican.
They're half Jamaicans. How you get a half a person? You cut them in half? How you get half person? Cut them in half?
Let me answer this why I tell us that them are half. All right. If your father have 2 different baby mother, right?
If my father have 2 different baby mothers, I don't know where you're going with
Yes.
this, but keep on.
What you call you nether your brother outside? Full brother or half a brother?
It's your brother. I don't even know full or no half. They're no half. You guys may want to call it half.
Guess what now?
Then there's no
Frankie,
half brother. It's a brother. There's no half brother.
You see when look at it that way? Eh? The Diaspora took our brother out is full then.
You're not making any sense though. So all the Jamaicans, wait. All the Jamaicans who migrate to the US, are they half citizens or partial? What are they? Are they citizens?
Frankie, if you look
No.
at
Answer.
it,
Caller.
you
Jerome, you can't operate like this. Somebody can't ask a question and you're talking around in circles. Answer the question. That's all you gotta do. I want to respect you. Answer the question. If you ask me a question, I'll answer it. So you answer my question. I have a brother who was. Wait, I have a brother who was like you want to call it half brother. I don't call him half brother. I call him by his name, and I call him my brother. I don't think about him as half brother because he's not half anything. He's a full human being. I was trying to pull something up that the JFF had, but I can't find it. Yeah, I don't understand the half thing. I don't understand the half thing, man. We're not half thing. We're not full thing.
And everybody look at it that way like we look at it.
Okay.
You get me? And guess what now? As I tell you, we have people all over the world from Jamaica, and we respect them just like our respect people from Jamaica. But it has to be a balance in it.
Well, the coach doing a balance, we know that. I don't understand the balance thing either. I don't know what balance means. So you're saying you should deny citizens? Yeah.
To me, my balance is you can't have a national team with 23 Diaspora players.
Okay. Why?
That is not a Jamaica national team if you have that.
What is it though? Are they citizens?
It is a mixed national team.
It's a mixed national team.
Yes.
But are the players, does FIFA allow you to have the so-called mixed team, or do you have to be a citizen of the country? Huh?
Frankly.
No. Answer the question now. Are they all citizens? By the way, people, I'm gonna pull up this thing. I'm gonna pull up this other thing. What does this thing say on this was from CONCACAF. What does it say? What does it say? No room for discrimination in our game, right? That's what it says, right? JFF is showing this on their site, and they show players there. No room for discrimination. If you deny a diaspora person who qualifies for citizenship, deny them their rights, and treat them like second-class citizens, then you're discriminating. And it says here what's wrong is wrong. So isn't that wrong? So you're saying if I'm better than you, and we're both trying to play for the national team, you should play over me because you're born locally. Is that what you're saying?
They should, I guess what?
No, caller. Do you ever answer any questions? So I'm getting annoyed now. Do you answer any questions? Or do you just go around in circle? I have no problem having a debate, but you can't keep avoiding the question. Just answer the question. Ask me the question you want to.
I'm not.
But Jerome, ask me any question you want. Ask me any question you want to ask me. Ask me any question, and I will not evade you.
Guess what? You see, anytime a player to come in from there, sir, over spot the people that want to take.
Yeah.
Local or then I'm trying to say this player better than an English player, so bring in this player and drop that player. Missy people are saying them prefer Ravel up on him sick bed over some player.
Yeah, but when they say Ravel better player, they're not. You are not feared when we say that because people who call for Ravel don't care who else is in the midfield. They don't care if it's Hayden or Latibadir or Palmer or Russell. They don't care. They say he should be there because he's better than all of them. They didn't use it as a way to say, oh, she get rid of Makala or she get rid of some local. We don't even have any midfielders in the midfield anyway who are local. But if they put him for Marvel in the midfield, which local players Ravel getting out if they call for him in the midfield? Which local players he getting out of the team? Is there any local players getting out of the team?
No.
But you're using Ravel as the example. Ravel is not the example. Let's say King, for example, in the defense versus a Bernard or versus a Holgate. It's a fair question. The coach has to decide who's the better player and play that player. So you're saying, so you know what? Maybe we shouldn't. So you think the local team can qualify in the World Cup by themselves without any help from Diaspora? Is that what you're saying?
No, that is not what I'm saying.
So do you want the best team or you want a balanced team?
So guess what? I'm saying to you that
Yeah.
we can't do without Diaspora player, and we can't do without our band player too.
So you're saying the main thing here is that you're concerned with is where you were born, not if you're a citizen. Boy, you know answer question. Right? I don't know if it did you kind of it. I struggle. Because every question me ask you.
We don't say what me say already, and probably you see different.
All right.
You see different. You get me?
Yeah, but look. If we're gonna reason, right? Look, Gerald. If we're gonna reason, right? And you have your point, I have my point. We don't necessarily agree with each other, correct?
Yeah.
So you have to be able to. I have to be able to answer your questions and make my case, and vice versa, right? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but guess what?
Yeah.
This is the first question come to my mind. I really can't answer it sometime because guess what? Me have respect for every player and everybody. You get me?
No, that's fair.
Yeah, so certain Christian can think, get me answer it. Be or look with me answer it.
All right, so you're a politician then, Jeremy. You're a politician. You're a politician.
No, I'm not politician.
You're in the wrong. You're in the wrong business. You're in the wrong business. You're in the business.
Me respect and love the Diaspora play them too, as well as you, like you.
Right.
Right? But only thing what me I try to say that. If you talk about them, you don't talk about no upcoming player from the country, like we talk about Diaspora.
So give me an example of Diaspora player I big up, and then I will talk about if I big up any local player. When you do that, tell me a Diaspora player I big up. No, because you be a system program, right? So tell me Diaspora player I big up then, and then we can try to defend myself.
Well, one player I know you big up, like really big up.
Yeah.
And he's rugby.
Yeah, because I think most Jamaicans like Ravel because of how he plays, right? We can say, I would say even Ravel is on the beach, having a big belly. It's like Ronaldinho. I watch Ronaldinho play football even now. I think if he get fit, he can play in most teams. That's my philosophy on certain players. And I know people in the JFF, some people who don't agree with me, totally disagree with me. In fact, I'll talk about it after you've hung up about who I expect in the squad, and we'll talk about whether Ravel are not going to be there. The coach, I don't think respect or like Ravel, frankly. Because Ravel can be a difficult person to engage based on his history. But I'm gonna give you an example. Let me give you an example. Let me answer the question myself. I have big up Cephas, but he's gotten to this point now where he's annoying the hell out of me. I have big up King, but he's now challenged because he played a few games and I watch him and I'm like, he's defending, he's good with the ball, but not great with it. I have big up Dixon. In fact, sometimes Claude used to beat me about Dixon. So I can defend myself about who I've bigged up from Jamaica, who's local now. And we're just talking about the overseas player now. We're not talking about other players who have been migrated who we don't even talk about. We don't talk about the stewards of the world, who ran afoul of the team, same time Bailey does, and he's been discarded. He's in Serbia playing, scoring goals, discarded totally. We don't talk about him, but Bailey got to come back because he's a star, supposedly. Right? So we are very partial about how we deal with things. And the fans don't talk about certain players either. So you can't just beat the crankies of the world. The fans don't talk about certain players. Right? The fans are like every fan. I'm going to give you an example. Partey for Arsenal. Now he's been charged with rape. He's no longer part of Arsenal. He's gone. He's dismissed. Nobody gives a damn about him. My philosophy has always been players should think about themselves first, second, and third, then think about everything else. Because when your day is done, whether it's by age, you can't play no more, something happens, people just moved on. That's life. So, yeah, go ahead.
Let me tell you something. Different from football, your show is very important. You know why I say that?
Go ahead.
You respect the truth and what's real. You get me?
Well, I appreciate that.
Even though you might hurt some people feeling sometimes, you still have to do what you have to do. You get me?
So wait, Jeremy, I have a question for you. Jeremy, are you based in Jamaica or overseas? In Jamaica or overseas?
Me overseas, me in America right now.
Okay. Because normally I get that perspective from people who are based in Jamaica, right? Who have seen the local players, believe that the local players should be given an opportunity, and they're not happy with the view that the team should just be diaspora players, even though the diaspora players may be better than local. So, look, I have to respect your view because it's your perspective. There are a lot of people in Jamaica, like the media, local media, who push the whole balance concept. But I don't agree with it because you know why, Jerome? If you're overseas, are you a citizen of where you are?
No.
Okay, so when you become a citizen, if you become a citizen, right? You will be very discouraged, very concerned, very upset if you're not treated like every other citizen in the country where you become a citizen. You would probably lose your mind because the constitution of that country talks about the roles, responsibility, and rights of the citizen. So if you get treated differently than a person who's born here, which is what Trump is trying to do right now, frankly, by trying to deport, and you hear the uproar about it, you would not be happy about it because the constitution, which governs the country, talks about those rights. So those rights should not be violated, else you're not living up to your constitution. So I understand what you're saying, Jerome, but we have to think about it from that. I understand what you're saying. Don't get me wrong. And it's a challenge for the JFF. We're trying to promote Jamaica football and trying to get players to progress and give them opportunities. But they also have to understand that you're trying to fix a right with a wrong.
Guess what?
Yeah.
You see the same thing we want from our player them.
Right.
We want the same thing from the diaspora player them.
Yes.
So in other words, if we choose a diaspora player, he must be the best.
You mean
in an English league or whatsoever. No.
Right.
He must be close to world class or something.
But what if he's better than the Jamaica player by a good margin, but he's not world class?
That is a strict. That's a crazy Christian. That's
but we have some of that, right? We have some of that. Here's the problem, Jerome, which will be fixed. I hope Rudolph fixes it by 2030, as you said or suggested, with his new coaching, revamped coaching program. What I would love to see is the delta or the difference between the local players and diaspora player in terms of ability narrows. So then we struggle we don't even think about local versus diaspora because they're so close. We just pick the best player because the local player, just as good as diaspora player, are pretty close enough to them to where the coach now want people to fit the system versus focusing on having some balanced thing or local versus overseas. At some point, my hope is that we get rid of that nonsense because they are citizens.
We need to get rid of it, Cranky. Because guess what now? When we lean for one side of the fence, it cannot bring division. You get me? I'm not liking division.
But then, Ben Jerome, when you mentioned then that we should have a balance, that brings division, you know.
Yeah, but you think something like that about that, Cranky? Trust me, not really Steve McClaren talk about it. We don't like talk about it neither.
All right, I hear you, Jerome.
We don't want to play them feel away from Diaspora, Jamaica.
Yeah. No.
If you guys talk about it, we have to talk about the other part too.
Yeah, no, I understand. But here's the thing too. We're not. So if you're in England, right? If you're in England, you play at a high level, and you hear all this conversation about Jamaica. Some Jamaicans don't want you in their team. They think you're a reject. They think you're taking the place of a local player. Does that encourage you to come and join the national team?
No.
Right. So, and then we cuss them if they don't come. So we cuss them when they come, and we cuss them when they don't come. So they can't win. We have to be better than that. We have to be better than that.
Sometimes everything in life is a challenge, and sometimes you have to prove people wrong.
Yeah.
Look at Isaac hearing. Look at when time I come. Look what things people say.
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, Isaac didn't help himself by some of the things that he said, but you're right. I think if you're born in a certain country, if you go through the age group and play for the country, your aspiration is to play for that country. At some point, you may realize, you know what, it's not going to happen. So you may have what I call a fallback, right? Because you have alternatives, and somebody wants you, and they try to pursue you, and you realize, you know what, this may be my only option. It may not feel good to the country who wants you, or some of the people in that country, but it's a fact of life. We have to live with it.
Yeah, man. Yo, Jamaican people love people who do good, who prove them wrong.
Right. Now, yeah.
Look on the amount of beat why I get, although he can't recover.
Well, no, I don't think. Look, I think most Jamaicans want Bailey to do really well. Some people think that.
Want him to do well, but we have to beat him because guess what now? It's like, see a ball, our piece of foreign ball, never free kick in a practice to take our penalty.
Yeah, but it's more than that with him, right? It's his overall play. So if he played well and he didn't score, but he was effective in his role and he was a good contributor, like he get few assists, but he played really, really well. The divisiveness and the supposedly anti-Bailey element would materialize, would manifest itself. The problem you run into is he's played over 30, almost 40 games, and people struggle to pick out 3 or 4 games where he's been very good. And that can't be the case. So we hope that, look, he's going to be in the squad. He's going to get opportunities again. And this is the time. There's no time like the present where we're going to World Cup qualifiers where he shouldn't be. He's going to be given the chance to prove himself. So let's see what happens.
Yeah.
All right, Carla. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Respect.
Yeah, man. Bless. Thanks. All right. That was Jerome. One thing I said, Jerome, is people, I'm not prosecuting, but I understand where Jerome's coming from because I hear, we try to beat Jerome here about him want balance, but the balance thing all over Jamaica, I know. The balance thing is something I hear in the traditional media. If you hear them interview people, they want more than balance. Right? They want more than balance. So, but anyway, I put this thing up because it was on the JFF site and I copied it. It says, no room for discrimination in our game. What's wrong is wrong. They should live by that. Don't have the players go in front of it and have it being promoted on your site when you're discriminating against people who are born in Jamaica, because you're picking players, you're disregarding players because they're diaspora, even when they have qualified through their citizenship. All right. So here is my my name said cranky down with the nonsense. Me not gonna stay long tonight. So here is people, it took me a while to put this together, because the system I was using wasn't working right. So if I make any mistake here, don't beat me. That's why I was late. 1 second, people. He's calling the wrong number. 1 second, people. Let me just tell him to call the other number. You know what? Let me put that number up. So this is my 20. Is it 26? It's my 26-man squad. Now, this squad is different from the last squad I put up. And you ask why? Well, different. What the difference? So the last squad I put up, actually, was what I call a prospective squad. It was one in which there are people with Jamaican heritage who I would love to see us pursue, like a Dwight McNeil, like a Lloyd Kelly, like a Jaden, what's his name? His name is eluding me now. Like a Tyrese Campbell from Sheffield, different Tyrese, who I'd like to see. Good night. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, good night.
Cranky.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good night.
Good night.
Yes, good night, Cranky. Yeah, Kyle here.
Yeah, Kyle, I'm listening.
Yeah, that gentleman that just called, he just touched the nerve. When you use the analogy of the illegitimate child or the or the half brother,
Right.
to make his point about diaspora and local, and it hit a nerve in that Jamaica just play England, and the women use a starting 11 of basically diaspora players.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the significance of that is this: if Jamaica cannot field a female team, then the JFF will be sanctioned. Jamaican football will be sanctioned. So the diaspora is basically, bringing some kind of benefit to Jamaican football in that they are a source for them to qualify for, FIFA friendlies or FIFA tournaments or FIFA games. That is one aspect of it. And the other aspect of it, because at one point, and I will confess, I was for the local players back in my days of ignorance. And then someone said to me, I don't remember who, but someone said to me, "But Kyle, if we use the diaspora players and our rankings come down, our rankings get better, that means that the locals can have opportunities to basically transfer overseas, right? So there's another benefit from that. So now I've come to the point where we just have to use the best players based on merit. If it means that we have to use our starting 11 of diaspora players, so be it.
Right.
Because regardless, the local clubs or the local players will benefit in that our FIFA rankings will get better and the players can be transferred out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So all of, all this just touch a nerve to me that people need to educate themselves, that the diaspora players bring benefit in so many ways that you really need to sit down and analyze and see the benefits. This whole thing about local and diaspora just don't make any damn sense.
I would agree with that, but that's not going to go away anytime soon. As you hear, we've been talking about this for the last 5 years. It's going to be here for the next 5 years.
20 years.
Yeah, probably you're probably right about that.
Right. Because back to the women again. So they just use a starting 11 of diaspora women to basically play England. And there was not even a peep about that. Can you imagine if we use a starting 11 of diaspora players to play any team?
Well, I mean, no one will complain about that because they know that we don't have the players in Jamaica to play, right? Bunny Shaw is not there. Jody Brown is not there. That's nobody's fault. So the 11 you pick, and it was an experimental team because there's some other diaspora players like a Groves who was in the team, right? So that's understood that you haven't produced the local players. Here we have a JPL, which is an official league, and we have individuals who are have aspirations to play in other countries in bigger leagues, utilizing JP as a stepping stone. And so people want to see those players get those opportunities, supposedly. But the problem that we have is we haven't produced the players at the level required for them to matriculate to a much higher level.
Right.
And then the players who go overseas, if they don't go to the major teams or major leagues, they're forgotten, right? If you're Stewart, if you're Dixon, even if you're Speedy Williams, who has been in the team for a long, long time, you see McCullough get called over Speedy Williams, for example. Because the coach, and I've said this 1,000 times, has been lazy on the job. Lazy. So he doesn't know the players. He has spent time. When he first came, he said he knew the players. No, he doesn't. Doesn't know the local players. So even though I mentioned players who people may say, well, they're out of form or whatever, they're not good enough, they're still better than some of the local players we're talking about. And they're also local players. But it's like when you go overseas, people forget about you. They only focus on those who are local, who they're seeing day to day, versus holistically thinking about the entirety of players available for Jamaica and make sure they pick the best 23.
Right. And, that's another question too, because when you have these local players that get transferred overseas, some of them seem to be forgotten about. They just focus on the local players again, trying to push them out. I mean, the whole process as to how we go about getting that 23. It's like they ever put themselves up for scrutiny.
Right.
You get some of them out, they get into these clubs overseas, and then you don't hear from them again. And then you're pushing another crop of local players to basically get into the national program. So what happened to those that you push, overseas to get into these clubs? I mean, come on. I mean, this thing it have to make sense. Simple as that. And if it's not making sense, then you cannot blame people for questioning what's going on.
Yep, totally agree. Yeah, man.
So I'm sorry to bother your starting 11, but I just had to call in and just make that point to you.
Nah, I appreciate the call. I appreciate the call.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, bless up. So Chris Smith, now beat you, Chris Smith. Not because someone don't pick the team that you believe or the player that you believe, that means they're catering to something, Chris. You have to change how you operate, Chris. You have to agree to disagree. So I didn't put Bernard in the team because Bernard has a long-term injury. We have no idea when Bernard going to recover. Bernard to me is like Antonio, except Bernard has been out longer in terms of this part of the year. So you're going to put an injured person in the team. I have Antonio here. Antonio come to the Gold Cup. Did Bernard come to the Gold Cup, Chris? Chris, we know the thing about Dixon on the bench, Chris. We know all of that. Put another name there, Chris. Chris, you have your team, Chris. Let me pick my one. You may disagree with me, and I'll put your own up there, Chris. But you can't just beat people all the time, Chris. Can you not put in who you think should be there? Is King good like Bernard? Maybe he's not, but Bernard is injured. And put an injured player in the team, Chris, in an injured player in the squad. I'm not going to do that. I don't think Antonio should be. I put Antonio here because he's got the Gold Cup. That's why I wouldn't put him here because he's still injured, as far as I'm concerned. And I was told, Ravel will not be in the squad. I was told, I came through some source that Ravel would not be in the squad, is my understanding. So that may change, right? Because the last time Ravel was not in the squad, and YouTubers call out all hell break loose and all of a sudden in the squad. It's my understanding, Ravel, it's my understanding that Palmer, I can understand Palmer giving him pushing cameraman and then give a 2 goal, and people may not be happy with him, and he seems to have some attitude problem. But at the end of the day, I don't expect Palmer in the squad. I don't expect Ravel in the squad. Now, you may say the midfield still weak. That's what I expect. So I'll put up the team that I expect to be there. So you may have your team, Chris, and other people may have their team. That's your team, Chris. Stop saying that I put somebody here because I want to get somebody else in the squad. Initially, I didn't have Richard King. If you go back to my previous list, Chris, Richard King was not in the 23. So I'm not sure how you always have come up with this thing, Chris, about you have a view, Chris. You watch all these players, but not everybody align with your thoughts, Chris. And it's not about because we're trying to push players in the team. Now, Chris, you're going to come across as if you don't like local players, Chris. Right? You're going to come across that way, and you're going to help to support the narrative that there are some people who want no local people in the team. Period. You got to do better, Chris. Come on. You're better than that. You have your team, I have my team. So I'm predicting, Cranky, you're predicting, yes, it's 26 I have here, not in 23. At least I think I can go. Last time I have 25, I say I have 26. And General Johnson is not a surety either. My understanding is that he's being observed. Right? But I put him in here because he's a CDM and we don't have any other CDM. I could have put Brandon Cover there and some other people, but some things are not 100% where they probably should be. Team McGregor said, Cranky, your midfield awful. I can't see this midfield help us to work. Okay, so let me pick my team now. Let me pick my team people. Because I've been on stay long enough. Pick my team because I know I beat me too much. I have to run for now. Yes, I think Ravel should be there. And I think the people have to call out. That's why I call this out. Ravel needs to be there. We have to make noise that Ravel should be there. So I have Kemar Roof in here, right? Because Kemar Roof should be here. And Kemar Roof can play the 10 too. He can play a second forward. He can play the 10. Better than Gray can play the 10. People, we can't have over 200 people and we only have 200 likes on the people. That's not a good thing. Come on, people, no do better than that. Over 100 of you haven't hit the like button. Damn, maybe you don't like the program. Maybe you don't like how I engage with some of the callers or how I articulate myself. So I'll try to improve. So maybe you hit the like button then. This is my 26. This is my 26. Based on what I know for now. I know that they've been said that 5 people are coming in and 4 people are coming in. Initially, I was informed it was going to be 5 or 4. When I do my reassessment, I think it's going to be 3. So you know what? Let me put up my starting team. If we can't find it. Let me see if we can put up my starting team. We're not beat one on Bush. And they can't beat me and I'm done. I'm using the Firefox, and Firefox not working well, people. Firefox is just making me want to cuss. Right? So this is my starting team. Even though Antonio to me is iffy. So I may take Antonio out my team, but this is the starting team. Now I could take Antonio out, but I think he'd be fit by the time it's World Cup qualifier time. This is my starting team. I can also replace Gray with Bailey, which probably will be the case. But this is my starting team. Good night. Good night.
Good night.
Yes.
Thanks for taking my call.
Okay. By the way, I'm cutting out the calls. I'm cutting out the calls to 5 to 10 minutes from now on going forward.
Okay.
But by the way, people, wait 1 second. I was just told that Bernard is out until October. So I'm not sure Chris wants Bernard in a squad for September when he's supposedly out till October. Chris, please explain that to me, Chris. Go ahead, Carla.
We need to have an honest discussion regarding the goalkeeping position.
Okay.
I'm not a big fan of the current goalkeeper.
Which goal? You mean you're not a big fan of Blake?
Yes.
Okay.
So
who you think should be the keeper?
I think the weight guy.
Okay.
Let me explain. I think a part of Jamaica's problem getting the ball from the defense to the midfield to up front is attributed to the goalkeeping position.
Okay. Elaborate.
It was-
Elaborate.
He holds onto the ball for a very long time. I think he likes when the camera is on him. Number two, he is not good with the ball at his feet. In modern goalkeeping, you have to be good with the ball at your feet. And the fact that he has not played in Europe should be held against him.
Yeah.
And it is looked over as if it's nothing.
So wait, back up. So because you don't play in Europe, should be held against you? Why?
Yes.
Suppose he doesn't want to play in Europe. Suppose he doesn't want to play in Europe.
In that position, name a world-class goalkeeper that did not play in Europe.
But nobody in this team is world class, except maybe Mason Greenwood.
Okay, name a goalkeeper that is just below world class that did not play in Europe.
But we're not saying he's world class though. He's a world class shot stopper. He's not a world class goalkeeper. There's a difference.
Okay,
especially in contemporary football. Go ahead.
Yes, but at this level, we again observe when he gets the ball, he holds onto the ball for way too long.
Right.
Number two is not good with the ball at his feet. That is a requirement at this era of the game. You cannot not possess a skill in a particular era, yet you're in the team. And this is overlooked. A real discussion should be had, and it's not being had at the goalkeeping position.
So I have a question for you. So you're saying every player need to be proficient in every aspect of the game. Is that what you're saying?
Every player should be proficient in what the position requires.
So should every player be good at defense that's on the field? The 10 players on the field, should they all be good at defense?
No, that's not what I said.
No.
That's not what I said. I said every player should be proficient in what the position requires.
But in today's contemporary football, everybody should be playing defense, right?
Yeah, but in today's contemporary football, everyone is not good at defense.
So maybe in today's contemporary football, not everyone is good at using their feet or a goalkeeper. Pope, who plays for Newcastle, which is a Champions League team now, is not good with his feet. In fact, he's just as bad as Blake.
Yes, but you made my point. A Champions League, a champion. How many? Look at where the top coaches are going. You have to look at the top coaches. You cannot look at the middle of the road, and you have to look at the average.
Right, but you can't have it both ways, you know. You can't give me an example of Blake's deficiency, and when I give you an example, and you say that's what Blake is required because he's a goalkeeper. Okay, in contemporary football, a goalkeeper needs to be good with his feet. I just gave you a goalkeeper who's not good with his feet, who's playing for one of the top teams in England, which is the highest league in the world. I then asked you the question: the attributes required to play contemporary football. If each player has to be proficient in those attributes. What I'm learning tonight is you guys are not answering my questions.
No,
just like Jerome wasn't answering my question.
You bring up a player. You bring up a player in England, right? And he's playing for Newcastle.
Yes.
Can that player play in Spain as a goalkeeper?
He's not required to play in Spain. He plays in England. What does Spain have to do with him playing in Spain?
No, okay, but you would like to get a coach from Spain. You don't want a coach from the UK.
Right, but Carla, let's really let's be linear in our conversation, right? Let's be linear in our conversation. We're talking about the attributes of a goalkeeper. You said Blake can use his feet and he holds the ball too long and he doesn't play it in Europe. So those should be things that preclude him from being a national goalkeeper, correct?
Preclude is too strong a word. I think he should not be first choice.
Okay. So it's still the same thing. You don't want to be the first choice, so he's not a national goalkeeper. You want Jamal Wade to replace him. Now, Jamal Wade is better with his feet. I'd agree with that. But is Jamal Wade a better goalkeeper overall in terms of his shot-stopping ability, which is paramount? Like Blake just showed in the last game where he stopped 2 goals from Guadeloupe, basically by himself.
But, in the last game, Blake, one of the goals was his fault.
Yes, I would probably say yes. He's not great with his feet, and the ball was low down. He should have used his feet to clear it versus trying to go down. So yes, but goalkeepers make mistakes all the time.
Yes, you see, it's not a matter of but I'm talking. The key is no position should be overlooked and not be assessed critically. And in my opinion, we do not take the goalkeeping position as seriously as we should.
I disagree with you. So here's why. So in the last 10 years, Blake to me has been Jamaica's best player. Over the last 10 years, Jamaica's best player. Undoubtedly.
A goalkeeper is your best player.
No, I mean, if you look at PSG, for example, or you look at the Italian national team, Donnarumma is probably Inter's best player.
Yes,
Donnarumma won in the Euros, saving 2 penalties. So the goalkeepers.
You have to agree that Italian football is very defensive. So you're going to get that, and it's not a brand of football that I know you would not recommend Jamaica play Italian type of football. I know that.
No, but we're giving examples, right?
Spanish football.
But we're giving examples of where a goalkeeper can be a stand-up. I put over a 10 years period, and it's individual games, over a 10-year period since he's been national team. If you assess all the players who've been in the team, to me, Blake has been the most consistent player, and as such, probably been the best player. If you can play Blake to any other player, whether it's Damien or Bailey or any one of them, I'd say in terms of contribution to the national team, Blake has been the best player. Whether it's Diaspora or local, could be like to those comparative. I think he's been the best player. Now, is he great with his feet? No. Will he ever be good with his feet? I don't think so. It's too late now. Jamal Wade is better with his feet. But is Jamal Wade a better overall keeper? I rate Blake highly, actually. And I think Blake could have gone to England or someplace else. He may not have gone to the Premier League, but probably go championship. And if he had improved with his feet, he probably could keep in the Premier League. If what's his name from the US went to the Premier League, what's his name? Turner? If he went to Arsenal, and then he went to Nottingham, then he went to Crystal Palace, he played in the Premier League. Why can't Blake play in the Premier League? Because he's not good with his feet either.
But you're making my point. Caller,
them say your time up. Let's make it 2 more minutes.
When a person or anywhere in life, a surgeon must be good with his title. You know what I mean? A reporter must be good with words. I'm certain things that are key to a position, should not be overlooked, and we overlooked that goalkeeping position too much. For example, many times I see where Jamaican players can go out on the break and he holds onto the ball a very long time. Also, I've heard rumors that he might be one of the key reasons why Ravel is not in the team. No player should prevent another player from being in the team. No player should have that much cachet.
But I don't know about that. But I'll say this: I was just somebody just told me that just informed me that Blake had a chance to go to the Eredivisie, which is in Holland, as you know, and he turned an opportunity because he's well settled with his family in Philadelphia. So there's some players who will not uproot their families because they don't believe that where they're going is going to be much better off than where they are, even though it's Europe and you get more prominence, you get more visibility, you get more notoriety, and it be observed more. And he probably could have progressed from there to someplace else because a lot of players go to Holland first, then they matriculate to EPL and other leagues. But I think Blake has shown over the years that he's a very good goalkeeper and that he should be lauded versus the opposite.
If a player in Jamaica and the JPS said, look, I am settled with my family, I don't want to take an opportunity to go overseas, it will be held against him.
But you can't compare, Carla, when you do your analogy, man, do better than that, no? Yeah, compare MLS. No.
It's the same thing.
Blake is making about $500,000 in the MLS. You can get $500,000 in Jamaica?
Oh, okay, no.
Wait, Carla. Can you get 100,000? No. But money is a big factor in making a determination.
But before the narrative was that JPA players should go overseas to get more development. for now, it's about money and not development.
Carla. When you are reasoning, your reason has to be logical. So here's where it becomes illogical. If I'm someplace and I'm making real good money, because I'm playing for money, I ain't playing because I just like playing. It's a job, right? And you have to uproot my family, go some places and they're settled. My kids are settled. And I'm going to make probably similar money. Why would I move? Jamaica,
Again, all of these things are excuses. All of these things, are excuses that we would not make for other players and in other positions. You know.
All right, Carla, I have to cut you because you've passed the 10 minutes, not even 5 minutes. But I understand your point. Yeah, man, and your point is your point. Thanks a lot, Carla.
All right, bye.
All right. Boy, tonight, it's rough, man. It's rough, man, tonight. People not answer me question, them, boy. Me answer for them question. And you can ask me any question, me can answer. No, give me answer it. Me try answer it. So people, if you call in, answer the question, man. Answer the question. Not evade them. When the questions come in, I will try to answer them. Please answer my questions. I love the calls. I know some of you don't have tolerance for what you think is not, you don't think is good dialogue, good discussion, but you have to give everybody a chance to have their say, right? We will, a lot of times people don't agree with me a lot of times, but at least I hope to try to get my say. No, let's go back to this team, people. Let's go back to the team. Let's go to the team. What do you think about my team? I know someone will beat me. I mean, probably deserve beaten. Now, someone said I'm disrespecting Bailey because Bailey's not in the team. I do the team based on performance. Go ahead, Carla.
Good night.
Oh, Longsley, you have 10 minutes. Because I know you know. And that good night, they say, cranky, you know, you don't answer from me, cranky. Me, I'll talk as long as you want. But me, I get 10 minutes. Because I give you 5. Okay, everybody get 5, me, I get 10.
I don't want to talk as long as I want. I don't want to.
As long as you usually talk. Go ahead.
I won't hold the show.
Your horse?
But no, I'm not horse.
Okay.
In fact, I just swallowed some warm liquid, so my vocals should.
See, you're drunk. You're drunk.
No, I said warm. I did not say alcoholic.
Okay.
Warm as in temperature.
Okay.
Anyway, I want to pick up where your last caller left off.
Right.
Andre Blake, based on pure numbers, I would have to agree, over the last 10 years that he's been the best player in terms of consistency and number of games where he has topped the performance sheet. So, pointing out his glaring deficiency, you cannot use a goalkeeper that is not rounded more than him and have similar experience to replace him. While Jamali Waite is better with his feet, Jamali Waite does not read the plays as fast as Andre Blake does, and that makes him not as good a goalkeeper as Andre Blake is. Now, Jamali Waite has not damaged his own stocks for the times he has been asked to do the goalkeeping duties. So I'm not shooting Jamali Waite. I'm simply saying that when you're talking about quality of goalkeepers, Jamali Waite is not on the level of Andre Blake. Our best goalkeeper that I know in terms of rounded is our most inexperienced goalkeeper, and he has not been selected. In fact, he was allowed to go to his club because his club needed him when they had the series of injuries, and they have not called him back to the program since.
You're talking about Conor Clark? Okay.
Yes. He's our best goalkeeper in terms of being rounded. He doesn't have the experience, but in terms of having all the requisite acumen to be a total goalkeeper, he would be our total goalkeeper. There's another one that is very good, but it's about 3 years now he's looking about his paperwork. And I haven't heard that he's anywhere closer to getting it.
But the one at Stockport? Corey Adai? Okay.
Yes, Corey Adai.
Yeah.
He's rounded plus he's big. So he takes up more space, and he's very agile despite being as big as he is. So I don't believe we can have a goalkeeping argument to talk about Andre Blake's deficiency when he has exuded all the quality he has for as long as he has.
Yeah.
So that I will circle. I didn't look over your total team. But
No,
I
no, no.
saw
So look,
you
no, no, no,
slightly-
yeah, no, no. Look at the 11. Look at the 11 on it. No, look at the 11 on the board. Because if you mention, if you get back to the team, so you have top of the team now.
Yeah.
I can put up the other one, and then we can go back to this, right? So this was the 26th that I put up. And my understanding is that Robert will not be in the squad. And my understanding is that Palmer will not be in the squad, but I could be wrong. That's my understanding.
All right. Cranky.
Yeah.
I'm not going to even question where you would get those information from. But you saying Ravel and Palmer will not be in the squad.
I don't expect him to
But
be in the
King
squad. Put it that way. I don't expect him to be in the squad.
But King will be in the squad.
I can't say King will be in the squad, but I'm projecting based on what I've seen. I can't tell the King. Look, the availability of all the players has not been finalized or determined, right? We know that Bernard will not be there. There's no other central defender. There's no other central defender to put in there. Even if you didn't want King in the team.
Cranky,
Yeah.
Cranky, that is not true.
Who's the other central defender?
That is not true.
Who's the central defender? So
There's Holgate.
Yeah.
There is Latimer there. There is Lowe. And there's Pinnock.
So I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
Hold on.
But you just say that's not true. When has Lati played centre half for Jamaica?
The best centre half showing Jamaica ever had was Latibody. When they had the back three, Latibody was in that back three.
But he was playing the left of the back three. I wouldn't call him total centre. He was playing the left of the back three against the US.
No, but hold on, Cranky. You also have both Gregley and Amari Bell that plays in our back three. So
yes. But we don't play back three. We don't play back three though. We don't play back threes though. In general. Yeah.
What I'm saying is we keep making excuses to bolster a particular position or narrative. Jamaica is not short on quality centre backs for us to need to go to King. That is not true. That statement is not true. We're not short on quality centre backs for us to need to go to King. That is a lie. Anybody said that, it's a lie. Because King is not at the quality of any of the persons I have just mentioned. Flat out, not at that level. I don't believe any team that is selected will satisfy all of us in the fan base. But what I would hope doesn't happen is that Jamaica continue to put players together rather than putting a team together. If you are a sub-10 athlete, that I'm using track and field analogy, if you're a sub-10 athlete and there is a person who is sub-11 in the relay team, you would be better served to have that sub-11 player, person, running your first leg, because the incoming speed of the sub-10 runner is going to cause you to mess up your baton change, because the sub-11 runner is not going to get out fast enough.
Pastor, that analogy is foolproof?
I am telling you, it's foolproof. It is something that can be, that it has been scientifically
No,
tested.
I think that's nonsense. I think that's nonsense. So wait, hold up. So yes, I would agree that when you're running full speed, the expectation would be that if you reverse it, it may be a little more challenging. We could also run away from the person because they may be tired. They may not even be 100 meters. They probably run 90 really well and can't do the last 10.
Listen very carefully again, Cranky.
Okay.
Because he's not consistently at that speed to get out. And this is why they changed the mixed relays. This is why they changed the mixed relays where the males don't run and deliver to the females because it was causing problems. The females don't get out as fast, so they change it. These are scientific things, Cranky. I'm not just talking off the top of my head or from my personal experience. That's why they had to alter it because they didn't start the mixed relays the way they now have it.
Okay. I am not a track and field guru from that perspective. I would say this though. I have seen a lot of times where persons run away from the person going to bring the baton to them for different reasons. Could be a takeoff too early. It could be they're pretty quicker than the person who's coming in think. With the person who's tired trying to reach them and can't finish because you got to run over 100 meters, not just the plain 100. There are different reasons as to why that's the case.
A lot of things cause it. I'm telling you, one of the major factors why they don't put people, they tend to put persons in our relay, especially in sprint relays, they put persons within a certain range on our relay team. So if everybody's on a certain range, you can put them pretty much anywhere. If all of them are low 10 seconds and sub 10 runners, that's good. But if they are like high 10-second runners to go run with people who are mid-range sub-10ers, that's not going to make any sense. You're always going to have baton mishaps.
All right, Pastor, you have 2 more minutes. You have 2 more minutes, Pastor. You have 2 more minutes.
Okay. My issue with the team is Jamaica consistently kept on trying something that doesn't work nowhere at all. So I don't know why they tried. Because the players that they put in the team do not play at the same level of others, so somebody have to be wasting time looking for them. The time you take to be looking for them, you become a liability to the team. I will close on this one. The last bad pass that Isaac Hayden made, that everybody beat Isaac Hayden for. I'm saying that everybody need to take the time after Cranky done his stream and watch back that match and look where King is positioned on the field. That pass was made because King wasn't where the center back is supposed to be. Anytime Jamaica selects players to make a team rather than to showcase for sale, we will start looking like a team. And the two semifinals and the finals that I watch of this World Cup, no mixed team like what Jamaica select couldn't play any of those teams and be successful. Thank you, sir.
All right, thanks a lot, Langsley. Good night. Ah, boy. Good night. Yes. Good night. Who am I speaking to?
I like your formation. No, I like the team, but listen, I think Antonio like.
Yeah, go ahead. Caller?
Here, Antonio.
Yes.
I would have a 4-3-3.
Okay. So who would be your three? Who would be your three midfielders?
The three?
Yeah.
Hayden, Russell, Reed.
Okay. So you say
I would
4-2-3.
I
Okay.
would bring Antonio because you see, most time you have two defenders. Yeah. I like this man.
Okay.
What do you think?
Look, I mean, if you play 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3, it's sort of interchangeable. I think Russell doesn't defend as well as one would like. He plays the 8 now, and he struggled defensively when I watch him in the Unity Cup and watch him in the Gold Cup. And in the World Cup qualifiers, I don't think he does the best defensive job. I think the reason why I have Bobby Reed on the right is because neither Greenwood or Max Aarons are known for their defense. In fact, Greenwood don't play defense, even though he's a wonderful offensive player. And Aarons is a very good player, but his defense is not the greatest. And I need somebody who's a bulldog on the right to help protect those two. Aarons is very good going forward. Hayden would probably be a little bit deeper, and Bobby playing the box-to-box. Russell has been very good at scoring goals. He scored 3 goals for Jamaica so far. He hasn't played that much for Jamaica over the last number of years, except for this more current year. And it's a toss-up between 3 players. It's a toss-up between Lowe and Holgate. It's a toss-up between Graham Bailey. It's a toss-up between Antonio to me and Siakema Roof, for example. Because I think Roof is an underrated player who is very good at what he does, very good at holding the ball up, link-up play, is a good goal scorer, hasn't played for Jamaica since God knows when, because he's had fitness issues. But my understanding is he's fit now and available for selection. I think we should bring him in. But Antonio, the coach loves him. He plays with his sleeve on his heart. He doesn't have a contract with a club now. It depends on whether he gets a contract or not. If he doesn't get a contract, to me, the coach has to be consistent in making his determination as to who should play. And maybe he doesn't start. But right now, the way things are, if you look at the competition that he has, he'd probably be the starter.
My problem is, I don't think the coach has the numbers together.
In terms of what?
A selection, man. It's putting guys in the right place. Because there's no way I would make Antonio come off the bench.
No, and that may be the case, right? He came off the bench in the Gold Cup. He's not fit. He had a very horrible accident. And it's going to take a while. It probably take him over a year to get back to full what he was. I mean, he's only been out, about 6-7 months, right? So, but he's made a remarkable recovery. Think about what his car looked like and where he was. But he's a veteran in the team. He has a lot of clout. And if he's fit, the coach is going to play him. It's a combination of both what I think it will be and what I expect it to be. And also thinking about how the coach thinks.
I'm not satisfied. You see the Unity Cup and the game we play in Kingston against Guatemala. The team was good. They play.
Hello?
Yeah. So for me, I was disappointed.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, the Gold Cup wasn't the best performance by the Reggae Boyz. In fact, it was way below standard. Frank, one could call it poor. If you look how well Guatemala played and Honduras played, even though Honduras got 6 from Canada, they came back and made the semi. So we have to, look, I think the coach has to be a better. Look, the players didn't play well, right? And the players have gotten a little bit, the coach has taken most of the blame for the performance. But frankly, the players also deserve a lot of the blame, right? But I don't think they have the best leader in the coach. And what has to happen going forward is the coach has to do a better job. But the players also have to be better.
Also, there's no leadership, man, on the field. The discipline is not there. And I wonder if these guys prepare mentally for the game because they went in this Gold Cup, not prepare mentally, physically.
They went, I don't agree with that, actually. Maybe they're not prepared in terms of tactically, but I thought after the Guatemala game, which I went to in Jamaica and watched them play, it wasn't Guatemala's best team, which we learned subsequently, they looked really, really good. Everybody was happy. The crowd came out. Media was happy. Players happy. Stakeholders happy. Everyone was happy. And we looked like we're beaters, but it was a false perspective because Guatemala played us in terms of how they operated, how they approached the game, because they know they couldn't change their World Cup qualification situation. So they didn't come with their best team. When we played their best team, we weren't effective. In fact, we were very ineffective. So we have to think about what team gives us the best chance to win. And that's what I'm trying to put on the field. Now, no one will agree. Everyone has the team that they prefer. See somebody called World Media here trying to belittle me by saying I'm putting out false narrative. Let me just say this, people. Everybody have their sources in media. So I'm in media now. And you got to think about the reliability of your sources. Some of my sources are very, very good. Others may be a little bit more challenged, right? But if they give me information, sometimes I will clearly qualify what I say. But information I'm giving you, I doesn't put it out of my you know what. I have sources. Like everybody else in the media have sources. Steve Naismith has sources. I'm nowhere close to that level, but the people have their source. They're going to give you what their source say. You can take it or not. So my source says Ravel probably will not be in the team. My source says Palmer may not be in the team. Those are my sources. They could be wrong. Source I'm getting. And I'm a big Ravel fan, by the way, people. You hear me say this? Ravel on any 10, any day, any time, for Jamaica anyway.
Bell and Lambert was a big disappointment in Gold Cup.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, most players were disappointed in the Gold Cup. So I won't just pick up those two. Most players were disappointing. There's a very few players apart from Blake, and even he made a crucial mistake. Well, it wasn't crucial because it was a Guadeloupe game. But most players in the Gold Cup didn't perform well. There's nobody can pick in the team and say, no, this person was beyond criticism, beyond reproach. All of them had their challenges. Apart from maybe Bobby Reed, I would say, who came on late and played only part of a game and looked the part.
Why you didn't start Bobby Reed?
No, because he just came off injury. He couldn't start it. He had an injury. He was out for like a month, so he couldn't have started then.
You see, my problem, going to the Gold Cup, I'm embarrassed for myself.
Okay. I hear you. All right, Carla. I appreciate the call.
You know me?
Yeah, man.
All right.
All right, yeah, man.
Thanks,
Yeah, man, thanks. People, we're closing the program soon, but I want to say a couple of things, actually. First of all, I want to thank everybody who joined me tonight. I apologize profusely for the tardiness. I wasn't trying to be tardy, but sometimes when you're trying to set these things up, it doesn't work as smooth as you'd like. The team I put on here, I struggle with the team in some respects. Some people are saying the midfield is weak. I think the midfield is balanced. What do I mean? I think Bobby Reed is a workman-like person who's going to put in a good shift and play good offensively and defensively. He's not going to be outstanding. He's not going to make a incisive pass between the lines to get Mason Greenwood in. But I'm picking the team with certain things in consideration. If I look at the back four, Rico had a very bad ACL injury. He's now back playing. He's fully fit. He plays with Pinnock. That's a good combination. And he's also a very good attacking player on the left, right? He plays in the back. He plays the wing back for Brentford because they play a back three. So I think that combination will work really well. Lowe does what Lowe does. He needs to be a calmer footballer. But you see the Lowe or Holgate, to me, they're interchangeable. They both play similarly. Aarons is, to me, much better offensively than defensively, but he's a very good player. And by the way, in the back four, 3 of them have played in the Premier League. Pinnock is still there. Rico is still there. Max Aarons has played in the Premier League. So we have 3 out of 4 back four are Premier League player. If put Holgate in, he's also playing in the Premier League. But I think they're interchangeable. They may go with a more CONCACAF experienced player. In the midfield, Hayden has played Premier League. Reed has played Premier League. He just got relegated. Hayden was at Newcastle for years after I left Arsenal. He's played a lot of Premier League football. They weren't at the top of the chart, but he's played a lot. So we have, out of the first 7, we have only 2 haven't played Premier League. Lowe and Blake, locally produced players. The rest have played Premier League football, which is sort of the highest form of football. If we go forward on the left, Gray has played Premier League, right? Russell is probably going to move to the championship, and he's moving up the ladder, and he's been one of our better players over the last window, frankly. And nobody's talking about what Greenwood can do, because Greenwood is Greenwood. And Antonio's played Premier League. So if I look at the list, we have 3 of the forwards who all play Premier League, 2 of the 3 midfielders, 3 of the 4 defenders. If these players can get us World Cup qualification, then I don't know what to say. Because a lot of them have played against some of the best players in football. And if I have, and look, of the list right now, Only Rico and Pinnock are playing Premier League currently, because I don't know where Antonio will end up. He may end up in the Championship. Don't know where he will. But they've been good Premier League player. Gray was a good player at Leicester. He was good at Everton. He played well in Germany. Greenwood experienced speak for herself. Antonio has been good at West Ham for years. Hayden was good at Newcastle when he was there. Bobby Reed has been a good utility player. Pinnock has been good. Henry's very, very good. Max Aarons was good and didn't get any times at Bournemouth, but went to Spain and is now been at Rangers. They're good players. So when you say this team is not good and can't make it, and I hear somebody, some media person, with the audacity to say some JPL team can beat this team. I'm gonna stop drinking. Maybe it'll leave you if you drink. Some JPL team can beat this team. We have a team here that has mostly EPL type players, and we're saying JPL players and can beat the team. Same players who can't beat nobody outside of CONCACAF. That's why I'm saying I struggle. Somebody's saying it's foolish to drop Bailey. Look, it's your preference, right? The question is Gray, the coach may put Gray in the 10 because he want to force people in his team and put Bailey on the left. He may do that. Greenwood's going to play on the right. There ain't nobody that's playing on the right but Greenwood. Unless we don't really want to win, we force him to center forward spot and he won't get any service. So you can pick the team that you believe should be there. This is my team. I'm not forcing anyone to believe my team is the right team. You can pick your team, but don't denigrate anybody else's team because you think your team should be better. I think Bailey should be the team. He doesn't start in my team. He hasn't done enough for the national team over the last 38 or so games for me to play him. He's had, I can recall, 2 good games for the national team, and one of them was more recently. So you guys want to force him in the team? Force him in your team, not in my team. I don't see him as a starter. He's not effective. And you can make the case that you want to make. You can say what you want to say about him playing in Aston Villa, and he was good against Bayern Munich playing in Germany. This is Jamaica, people. After 38 games, you have enough of a sample size to inform your view as to the quality of the player for the national team. Forget about their club performance. Please walk me through how many good games he's had for the national team, where he's been outstanding. I haven't seen it. Against Panama, yes, he was good. Hit the crossbar, hit the upright. But when has he been very good after that? Yeah, no, Gray has, and I think he has about similar assists, right? I think Gray has about a 1 in 2 goal contribution. Something in that range. I think he has a 1 in 2 goal contribution. Right? And Bailey's the one taking the penalties for Jamaica too. I think Bailey has what, about 6, 7 goals for the national team? I mean, we can make excuses for players all we want, It's your prerogative. You can like who you like, right? It's your prerogative. You can like who you like. But at the end of the day, have you produced for the national team? Oh, I meant Guadalupe. Yeah, was it Guadalupe hit the ball? Okay, I'm confusing my games. Yeah, it's probably Guadalupe. We don't do well against Panama. So thanks, Drew Ross, for the correction. People are saying one Ravel. The feedback I've gotten about the Ravel situation is that there may have been some issues with the coach. The coach has always been very evasive when it comes to Ravel. He makes excuses for not selecting Ravel. I think part of the coach's problem is he doesn't know how the players will qualify for Jamaica. He just doesn't. I don't know. I won't go back to the history of how he got selected to coach Jamaica. It's probably one of the most disappointing coach selections in Jamaica's history. To me, it's been the worst coach selection in Jamaica's history. Gotta be one of the worst coach selections in Jamaican history. Given all the factors, given the coach's supposed pedigree, given where we are, given the possibility or probability of us qualifying for the World Cup, given the compensation package, at least we know that Haggis will put in some work. Does Greenwood have passport? The people I've picked people in this squad have or will have their papers. As I wouldn't put them here. I told you, I got rid of the Matt Neals of the world. I got rid of the Lloyd Kellys of the world because they're not close to getting no papers. I put people here who I expect to play in the next game in September. Maybe one of the pieces and purposes here, maybe a little bit challenged, but they're making progress. Greenwood, didn't you guys see the publication today in all the YouTube outlets that Greenwood have his papers? That's not new news. That's now become old news. No, I don't think the coach has done a good job. I'm very disappointed in the coach. I just think he probably came to CONCACAF with a view that is with a sense of arrogance about the region and the football, even though he worked at FIFA, but he worked at FIFA during COVID. And I don't think he did his due diligence. And even Pochettino is finding out that things are not that easy in this part of the world. Right? Even Pochettino, who has a big resume, he's been prepared. When he did his interview and they talk about it, he went there prepared, he did his research, and even he's having some challenges with players and with the region, frankly. But I think you hear some coaches in the region say we have the quality, but they have a better team. I just think you need to have the right coach to bring these players together and try to have them play good football. I think a Max Aarons, a Rico Henry, and a Greenwood will significantly improve the team because all of them can keep the football. All of them can play under pressure, which is what we struggle with, right? Even in our midfield right now, I think Hayden can keep the football. I think Bobby Reed less so and Russell maybe less so, even though I think Russell is very effective going forward. So you may have your team, but this is my team. And I expect a few more players to come in the October window. So this is just the September window, team people. One stop said, a YouTuber said he saw Greenwood's passport. I can't go that far. I haven't seen his passport. I was told that his passport was issued and his citizenship was issued. I haven't seen nobody's passport, so I can't say that. But I do think I think all of you guys should pressure the coach for Ravel, seriously. Damian Lowe in my team, as I said before, it's Damian and Holgate. I don't see a difference between the two players. They both are decent footballers, but they're also both very rash footballers. Both very rash footballers. Both, if you look at their history and their performances, tons of yellow cards and a few reds in there. Ravel did have the chance to come to JPL. Was it last year? Hogrimson did have for Ravel to come to the JPL to get his fitness together. And I don't think the package was big enough. JPL ain't playing no money. Ravel was offered to go to Jamaica to get fit to play with JPL. Ravel also got to take some responsibility for him not being in the national team. It's not just the people around him. He got to take some responsibility. Right? I asked AI for a breakdown two defender. You know what? I will do that. I will do that, actually. I will do that. Ian Johnson says, 1 second. Ravel can't tie my shoelaces. Really, Paul? Your shoelace is that small you can't see them? Really? That's not good, Paul. Ravel can't tie your shoelaces. Why would Ravel want to tie your shoelaces anyway? I know what you're trying to say, but I mean, I don't even understand that talk. Paul, you bigger than that, Paul. You bigger than that. You bigger than that, Paul. I'm not gonna put up the other comments, but Paul, come on, Paul. You're a grown-up, Paul. Come on. Tight shoelaces. The comparison not between you and Ravel. I think Ravel is a very good footballer with a lot of ability still. But I do think he has to take responsibility for some of his actions. It's very disappointing that I think he would have added value to this midfield. The ideal midfield probably would have been, I don't know what I still think I want Bobby Reed in my team. I just think he does so much work defensively that that's a good thing to have in your team, especially when there's so much room in there to cover. I think Hayden will calm things down. And Russ is a goal threat. Now, the coach is going to have some. Here's my concern to people. Will the coach be making the right decision when it comes to selection? It's the same coach who went to the Gold Cup with two midfielders. So will he make the right decisions? When he has a team that has quality in different positions? Because we don't have Modesel here. We don't have Roof here. We don't have Tyrese Campbell here. We don't have Lati here. Some people like to beat Lati. Lati's a very good defender, by the way. We don't have Amari Bell in the starting team. So he'll have choices. Amari Bell is not going to Charlton, who are in League One. Amari Bell has played the Premier League. So he will have choices. And the question is, will he make the right choices? Right? Reggae Boyz Rex said, no, Ravel, he isn't committed. The stress of idle football is too much for him. He has to be in the right environment where he can enjoy football. Boys, we have psychologists in the chat too. Psychologists, psychiatrists. You say cranky live. Are there madness coming? You I notice what others commenting. I'm trying to find out the comments here, people. We like the controversial comment, you know. Can't just put up the nice, innocuous comments. I think Paul got mad at somebody. Paul is always more rational. Paul and Football Guru used to be the anti-commenters, but Paul was more moderate in his comments. Paul just had a relapse a while ago. I don't know what happened. Bless up Ricky Dunslocker. Take out. I don't even have Burrell in my squad. I don't have Burrell in my squad. I can't put Burrell in. I don't have Burrell there. I don't think Burrell is going to make it. I think Kimar will take Burrell's spot. That's my view. Wells says Rudolph Speed is needed as our national coach. I'm not telling you. I think sometimes. So what has Rudolph done, Wells, to be coach of the national team? So people, hey, Wells, Colin, we want to talk about that before we close on the program. So we'll close it down. We have about 5 minutes left. What has Rudolph done to be the coach of the national team, people? I don't think that's Rudolph's aspiration anyway. Those of you who think Rudolph on the coach of the national team, I think you're wrong. If you haven't hit the like button, people, please do so. I don't think Rudolph on the coach of the national team. Rudolph bigger fish to fry. One of the things I have national team Rudolph on coach. I'm wrong. I think so. Cranky, which players come in September just joined? What do you mean, Las Blanc? Look at my team on the board. This should be the team. 3 of the players are not here already. But do you know if he's gotten help Reggae Boyz reactor? He wants to coach the national team. I didn't hear him say that. No, Max City, you're misquoting him. I didn't hear him say that. Did anybody hear Rudolph say when I coach the national team? You guys tell me. This coach don't bring Revel out qualifiers, so boycott the games. We're not strong enough. Yeah. Where do I rank my team? Which team? This team? The team I have wouldn't be this team exactly. I'm going for the players like the Lloyd Kellys of the world and the and some other players. So it'd be a different team. I don't remember him saying he wants to coach a national team. I can't recall him saying that. People are saying yes, he said that. Really? I don't remember him saying that. Maybe I need to go back and listen to him. He said he wants to coach national team. I thought he mentioned about the fact that he wants local coaches to coach all the teams. That's his aspiration. That's his goal. I don't remember him saying he wants to coach a national team. Because they asked him about coaching, and somebody said he got opportunities outside Jamaica. But I don't remember. Oh, okay. I didn't see that one. Okay, I didn't see that one. So I'll have to go back and check that. I thought you guys were talking about the last Sportsbox interview. Yes, David. Greenwood has his papers. Yes, it's for real. So if he doesn't come, it's not because he doesn't have his papers. Rudolph Speed, most qualified coach in Jamaica. Right. But Wells, here's the problem, Wells, I have with your perspective. To get to the World Cup, to win Copa, to win Nations League, you have to perform outside of the Caribbean. What's Rudolph's record outside the Caribbean? So Wells, I want you to answer that question. What's Rudolph's record outside the Caribbean? As I said, to win Nations League or get to a higher level, to win Gold Cup, to get to the World Cup, apart from this year, because all Caribbean teams in our region, you have to perform outside the Caribbean, right? When Mexico, Canada, and United States are involved in the competition, you have to beat them to get to the World Cup. So Wells, please tell me what Rudolph's record is outside of the Caribbean. In fact, please tell me how much goals his team has scored outside the Caribbean. I'm waiting for your response. All right. Anyway, people, I'm gonna close the program down. I'm gonna say this: it's getting late. It's almost 11:30. It's been a good discussion, good conversation. Let me know your team. You can drop the team in the chat. Let me know your team that you would pick based on who we deem will be available. And we also got to think about there could be injuries, so that may change plans. Reggae Boyz says he did not say he wanted to coach Jamaica. He said he might coach someone else per stuff. I think that's what I heard also. So maybe I'm mistaken. All he needs is a start. So you start with the national team? No. Wells, what you should say is Wells. He needs to win outside the Caribbean to coach a national team. Tapa's won outside the Caribbean. Tapa took us to Gold Cup final, semi-final, right? Tapa's taking us to good places. No, Tapa didn't have the resume that Rudolph has, to be honest. But at the same time, in today's environment, Rudolph has a multiple chance to perform outside the Caribbean. He hasn't. Not to say he's not a good coach. I don't know how good a coach he is. He's done well in Jamaica. I don't know how good a coach he is. But he's getting his pro license. So, you know what? I think pro license, the pro part is more organization than anything else. It's not necessarily the practical element on the field. So you get that when you get your A license. But I hope he does well. And if he coaches a national team, he coaches a national team. He may need to. But I think he has bigger aspirations than coaching a national team. Trust me. I think his aspirations are bigger. Rudolph is a very ambitious man. I don't think the national team would satisfy him just to coach it. Right? Ian says, this is the last comment I'm reading. I'm closing on people. Ian says, without Ravel, September is going to be a continuation of the Gold Cup. Mark my words. A lot of Ravel proponents in the chat. A lot of Ravel proponents. A lot. So Devon is saying, I believe that the Gaffer should give the fans they want by selecting all, I don't know what that means, Devon, base squad. Should be locally based players. We should, you know what I would love? I would love to see how all JPL team would perform. You know, I don't need to see anybody perform. I see them play against local Trinidad team. They look lost. Sorry. Let's not get carried away with the nonsense. I've seen a JPL team play multiple times against Trinidad last year and this year. They lost last year and drew, and this year they won one and lost one, and they scored in the last minute, the one they won. Sorry. We've seen enough. The people in Jamaica, you guys are clouded by xenophobia. Get over yourself. All right, people. Thanks for being here. I will not have an outro tonight, I don't think. I appreciate you being here. Please hit the like button before you leave. Also, importantly, people, I've mentioned this, please subscribe to the channel. Let the channel grow, people. All right? Give me a break. Subscribe to the channel. Share the channel so others can also visit the channel, subscribe to the channel. And finally, last but not least, if you think there are topics that I should be bringing to the table and talk about, please indicate as such, and I will revisit them and consider them for discussion. Right? I know we're in Reggae Boyz time. It's World Cup time. These are the hot topics. This will die down a bit in July and early August. It will take up again late August because it'll be close to September window. It's September 1 through 9 is what? First window, I think it is, which is really early September. So that's right after the season starts for most of the other leagues. So it's gonna be so it'll be a lot of it'd be the real time, people. It'll be the real time because Curacao, Trinidad, Bermuda all have aspirations to get to the World Cup. Curacao has advocates as their coach. They're importing players galore. JFF, my suggestion is you get off your butt and you go out there and you go source additional players. I know some people are talking about the team need chemistry and the team is this. Based on the Gold Cup performance, we could change this entire team and people shouldn't really care. Based on the Gold Cup performance, nobody's job should be secured. Nobody. Because the performance was atrocious. It was awful. It was terrible. And these are some of the teams who are not even at the upper echelon, apart from Panama, because I wouldn't consider Guadeloupe right? And Guatemala in the upper echelon of CONCACAF, and we struggled against them. We look at C against Guatemala. We looked at C against Guadeloupe, because they should have probably won that game, and Panama did what they normally do to us. So don't fool ourselves. We still need players. And with that, I'll say thank you and good night. Peace out. Frankie Life is the place to be now for the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Frankie Life will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Frankie Life, tell them. Frankie Life, heed them. Frankie Life, want them. Cranky Life. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Cranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Cranky Life, tell them. Cranky Life, heed them. Cranky Life, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Cranky Life, get to know the name because Cranky analysis is never lame. Cranky Life, give me my Cranky Life. I want my Cranky Life. Must have my Cranky Life. Whether it's football or track and field, you know Cranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat, and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Cranky Life. Tell them, Cranky Life. Heed them, Cranky Life. Want them, Cranky Life. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Cranky Life. Tune into Cranky Life. Like up Cranky Life. Subscribe to Cranky Life. Cranky Life coming to you on weekdays. Cranky Life sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Cranky will always bring the heat. Cranky Life. Me say fi tell them Cranky Life. Me say fi heed them Cranky Life. On them Cranky Life. Cranky Life will be around. Cranky Life is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Cranky Life. Cranky Life. Cranky. Heed them, want them, heed them, want them. Heed, want, heed them.